Welcome back to the Football Rig. Another episode of the Arsenal News Drilldown. Today we're having this beautiful panel with us, the Doc and BBK, man. How you guys doing, man?
Good afternoon, man.
Good afternoon. Guys, before we start, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Also subscribe to both the Doc and the BBK. Both channels will be in the description for you to go and show them some love. So hold on a second. The Premier League title race might not be over just yet, guys. So we have some hope now after City drop points. Arsenal win, City drop points, and suddenly the entire table just flipped in top of its head. But the reaction after the match has been explosive. Honestly, guys, I'm telling you, it's been explosive. If you guys been to the social media, you're going to see some mad things that is going on about Arsenal. Some fans are saying Arsenal showed championship mentality. Some of them will say the dark card. Some will say this is the worst champions ever. Who cares, right? Others are saying it was pure dark art. And that's what we're going to discuss right here. Tonight on the Arsenal News Drill Down, I have a few questions, few topics. Is the title race actually back on? Why people are furious about the way we won? I want to hear what you guys think about it. Which players could be leaving this summer, and which stars we might be signing in this summer, and who are we targeting for the upcoming transfer window? This is the Football Rig, where we separate emotions from reality. Let's drill it down. First of all, guys, I want to know how you guys doing, and let's go with the first topic. City drop points, Arsenal, won. What's your thoughts about that?
Well, it was a good day for Arsenal in that regard. I don't think many folks had City dropping points at home to Forest on their bingo card for this year. Yep. But the only thing I would say is, let's not get complacent. Now would be an excellent time once again for Arsenal, for Arteta, and for this squad to put the sword to City and to make the league completely out of reach for City. It was a very fortunate turn of results, but let's not squander it.
What about you, BBK? What's your thoughts, man?
After the Man United loss at home and City had got close to us, I think they had cut the league to like 2 points from where we were. They had cut it to 2 points, right? And then Mikel gets kind of nervous. And I said at that point, I did a show with WaffleDon, and I said, brother, if we're going to win this Premier League, get ready for 19 of the stinkiest performances you'll ever see for the rest of the season.
You actually called it out. I remember that. I remember. You did.
This is what I expect. The win against, get ready for 9 more, 8 more of that, because that's what it is. When he gets into a corner, he does what works, and this is what he knows, right? Ride his defense to the Premier League title. He trusts his defense more than he fears Man City's attack, because his defense went to the Amex and left with 3 points. With other, circumstances around how we won, we'll discuss that later. But we just see Man City's blistering attack get a beautiful draw. They play beautiful football, but it was a draw, right? They went. That was an all-out attacking team. That Pep fielded Ballon d'Or Rodri as a lone 6, and he
got the invite, bro.
Allen, Semenyo, Silva, and Foden, and that couldn't get it done. So Mikel is gonna trust his defense to keep clean sheets or keep the goals at minimum, while the attack will stink out a set piece or a well-drilled goal, right? Or a fortunate goal. You create your own luck when you shoot, right? That's usually what happens. Performances have gotten progressively worse. And progressively worse might sound like an oxymoron, which it probably is, because when you say progressive, you're usually talking something trending in a positive direction. They're getting progressively worse. The reason why I say progressively worse is because we picked up points against Chelsea, and we're picking up points while the performances are bad. So I think that the performances aren't great, but this is fully what I expected them to be.
And if I could also jump in as well, we also know how pivotal certain moments in a match can really shape a game. Big to you, Abs. Always a pleasure to see, my G.
Big up, WaffleDon, man.
that goal that we had almost let in, based off of that like very, very rash and very common like Raya mistake, like passing it right into danger and almost getting lobbed, like went in, like that really changes the entire complexion of the game, like and it's moments like that really, that should really be giving the manager pause to try and stamp that out. But simultaneously, I think it is part of the directions that this manager is giving Raya. Like I think he's giving Raya like that license and freedom to be able to like play in that manner.
Okay. Big up to you, WaffleDon, man. What's your thoughts on this week, man? The win, the draw from City. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, obviously, it's dopamine, as BBK would say, innit?
Yes, that's
it's points on the boards. It's advantage Arsenal right now. That's all we can ask for. The performances are horrible, but listen, if we get to the final day and we're ahead and it's crunch time, well, not even crunch time, and it says that our name, when the guys indenting the Premier League winners onto the trophy, I ain't got a problem with it. So we've just got 8 more hours. What's that? 8 times, how long's the game? 2 hours?
Well, hour and a half. So like
hour and a half.
It's like 720 minutes.
So yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that with stinky football for now. I can't see anything changing drastically in between that. So yeah, if that's the way it's gonna be like that.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Tunnel Strike here, saying I think Arteta living dangerously. Don't think this kind of football is sustainable. The gap is 4 points, but I would still back Man City to get back in this. So yeah, I do agree. It was a stinky win, to be honest. I mean, I did a watch along, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It was stress for me the whole 90 minutes. It was very stressful watching Arsenal, and I don't know how we scored the goal. Anyways, it was some sort of deflection, and then the ball went changes direction and nutmeg the goalkeeper, and somehow we went 1-0 up by the Saka goal, and it was. And I don't recall there was a shot on target after that. Probably Havertz, maybe one shot, or it was like. I can't remember. Was it only one shot on target or more?
Havertz should have scored. He should have scored.
Yeah. He was a bit slow, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's no sustainability, man.
There were only 2 shots on target the entire match.
2 shots. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So one went in, and the other one we didn't score. So it was very, worrying for me to watch Arsenal in the way we attack. It is. What do you think, guys? This is sustainable to get over the line with these stinky performances?
Well, I mean, I guess the first question would be: has it ever been done previously, where we have? I mean, even during the George Graham era,
Chelsea, maybe.
Where we were stinking out like 1-0 like results. Like we were always looking a much more potent attacking threat.
What about Chelsea under Mourinho? Smash and run.
They were better.
Yeah, they got. They had some attacking like options as well. They had Drogba. I think was Robin still with Chelsea at that time, or no?
No, I think he left. Yeah.
Look, it should be I personally don't find it sustainable, but simultaneously, if we end up somehow stinking out, results like this and lift the title, then I don't think anyone really cares, except for everyone else who doesn't want to see Arsenal lift up silverware. But I personally find it so disconcerting, just because we see it time and again. We also see how we always tend to sit back after we score that first goal, and it's almost like this manager still does not want to learn from his mistakes and just get a second goal, just develop a bit more of a cushion and a buffer, in this, in the chance that the opposition gets back in the game. I don't know. He's playing with fire. But I totally agree with Tunnel Strike. It's living so fast and dangerous for no real justified reason.
Can I just interject quickly? So as soon as we scored, yeah, I don't even think that we wanted to actually, sit back. Brighton stuck it on us as soon as we scored. Yeah, they got a corner. I think there was, I don't know who the ball came off, but they got a corner, and from then we were under under pressure again. We couldn't hold on to the ball. I think this was more a problem with our team play than the managers telling us to sit back. We were struggling to contain the ball. We couldn't keep possession. No one could put their foot in the ball. Declan Rice done okay, but the likes of our wingers, they kept running the ball out, especially Martinelli on that side. Nketiah done the defensive duties on that left-hand side, but we just couldn't contain the ball. In midfield, Brighton, what they did is they kind of put loads of players in the midfield as well. So they made it even harder for us. Zubimendi, he struggles in these physical games where you got like players like Baleba and Gomez that are consistently pressing him. So I don't think it was a thing of we wanted to sit back. I think in this game, we just struggled with Brighton, and I'm just going to say this before I let you guys come in. City played these guys, yeah, and they've not beaten City. They've not beaten Brighton this season. There's a 1-1 draw, and he lost 2-1 at Brighton as well. So Brighton isn't a joke club. When it comes to the big teams, they like playing the big teams, and we've beaten them twice this season. So you know what? I'm happy we've got 6 points out of them.
Yeah, that's true. First of all, big up to you, Souls. Welcome, buddy.
Big up.
Big up. Nice to meet
Souls,
you guys.
man.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah. So, Souls, what did you feel about this performance from Arsenal? Do you think this is sustainable? Do you think, does it fill you with confidence? I would say. What's your thoughts about the game, man?
Yeah, look, I think it was a top quality game. I think it was a very top quality game. Look, I think the performance wasn't great, 100%. Our performance wasn't great. And I think throughout the season, I've maintained the opinion that I don't believe we have enough attacking quality. And what I mean by quality, I mean we have a lot of individual personnels in that attack, but a lot of them are just average at best, right? And we've seen it continuously in games this season where the attackers, 1, can't finish, 2, overstepping the ball, 3, missing clear chances, 4, individual errors. And I just feel like, and I heard, and sorry, I don't know a lot of your names, but I heard someone saying earlier on this stream, can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. WaffleDon's frozen.
Here's the name for you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man. I'm trying to share the stream minute to my channel, but
Don't worry,
no worries.
That's the classic
I'll do
behavior
that.
by
I'll do that
WaffleDon.
myself.
Don't you worry.
but guys, look, I think what the point I was trying to make was that, and I heard, and I think it was you, Dr.Seymour, but you were talking about how it's a risky type way of playing, and I think what we have to understand in football is that, and we saw it with the Man City Forest game, we cannot maintain the high press level of football that we saw against Chelsea on the weekend when we just played 3 days ago. There's going to come a time where player fatigue matters, especially when you've just played 3 days ago and you saw that Chelsea game up until the 87th minute. We were pressing the life away of Chelsea, even after we went 1-0 up and 2-1 up, right? So I want to make it clear that sometimes it isn't always about when the players seem like they're dropping back, or when the players seem like they're not putting as much effort, when the players seem like they're not pressing. I don't want you guys to automatically jump on the manager and say that is a tactical situation, because that could also be an individual player situation. And also, as WaffleDon said, a lot of people misinterpret the understanding that the way a game flows isn't just based on the way one team plays, because in games, you may score a goal, and even though you want to press, that other team will now high press you. Meaning, naturally in football, if a team pops people forward, you're going to naturally have to sit back, unless you want to turn it into an end-to-end UCL quarterfinal game, which is not going to be like that.
But Souls, it's been more than one game, Souls. It's been, against Brentford. It's been against Nottingham Forest. Yeah.
But
Souls made a point there. Souls, you think we pressed Chelsea?
I think we pressed Chelsea, yeah.
Because Chelsea had 10 men and had more possession of the ball than us. I don't think we pressed Chelsea.
I think we pressed them. If you look at the heat map, we actually pressed them very. The only time I saw us sit back was after the 87th minute, where we put 10 men behind the ball and they had space in midfield to be able to. And do you know why we pressed Chelsea? Do you know how I know we pressed Chelsea, BBK? Because look how end to end that game was. It was flowing. It was us attacking, counter attack. They were attacking because they've got good attackers, and we know they do. But it was an end to end game, and I actually found that very risky. But I thought, you know what? Arsenal fans have been crying for that style of football where it doesn't matter if they go on the other end and score. Let's just attack and attack and attack and try and outscore them. And that's what we tried to do. Yes, we didn't score a lot of goals because, again, I do feel like we lack going forward. You know what I mean? But I just think that the way we played against Chelsea, we can't sustain every week, right? And in some games, you're going to have to graft out those 1-0s. And against Brighton, we were very good in terms of defensively. We defended well. Gabriel's a beast, right? Our defense did what their job was supposed to do. My only concern is too many times this season, I feel like Arsenal have relied on defensive performances to win us games. And that's my issue.
But isn't
yeah, sure.
But is I mean, like, so I guess, like, to that end though, like, so isn't that not only reflective of sitting back after we go up a goal, and I guess like an additional question, like you had said, because I do agree that a lot of our attackers are very average, but is that a reflection of the players being average, or a reflection of the manager's tactics, perhaps, like, you know, not getting the greatest utility out of those players?
So can you elaborate on utility? Like, what do you mean?
Well, so I mean, like, we know that we play very lethargic football going forward. We also know that we tend to pass the ball around the final third in a U shape, and we're not as incisive in open play. So I think that's a reflection, like, of this manager wanting to utilize wing play more than actually, like, passing the ball, like, directly to, like, the forward itself. You know, like, getting rather, you know, like passing him in, you know, like, behind the defender.
Right. So and do you think that's a personnel issue? Do you think he's playing like that because he doesn't believe in that central in those central players like the Ezes, the Odegaards, and the Okerezes?
I mean, like, I do believe that there are players in the attacking force there that are not good enough, but I also don't think I don't think Arteta has over time, right? You know, because I think we could all agree, you know, that Aubameyang is a far better striker than Gyökeres, and Aubameyang had also failed under this manager. So, like, I mean, so I'm not entirely certain whether or not, like, Arteta actually knows how to get the best out of an attacking line. You know, like, in the 22-23 season, when the offense was flying, we haven't been able to replicate that since.
But you just said when it was flying. But Arteta has shown 2 years running that he was one of the highest scoring teams in Europe. So he's obviously shown 2 years running that he can play attacking style of football, and he can outscore most teams in world football. And he's proven that. Yeah, we came short. We didn't win the league. But I'm saying, in terms of a style of play, he isn't a manager that's historically known to be defensive. That's what we need to understand here. In his first 2 title challenges, the one with the Ramsdale Tomiyasu season, and then the season after that, where Odegaard got 22 GA, we were playing some of the most attacking football in Europe. We were outscoring teams. I remember we were going into games and we were beating West Ham like 6-0, and then we're going into another game beating teams 5-0 and 4-0. We're just annihilating teams with high scores.
Which I think, Souls, it's a good segue for the next topic we want to talk about, which is the dark art. So for me, I think, first of all, shout out to Tamim Ahmed, first time watching the show. I'm glad you subscribed, so you're welcome. For me, Souls, I think, yes, we had those great performances where we won 5-0, 6-0. You're right. And especially after the Dubai trip, if I recall correctly, that we were, you know, just a spanking team here and there. And we were winning in a very fantastic manner. So I want to show a video, guys, to you about the manager of Brighton. And then I'll show you a tweet. Just I captured just a little bit of parts of that I mean, from the press conference. So let me just pull it out quickly.
I mean, like, there are different kinds of winning. So if they win the Premier League, no one will ask how they win the Premier League. I think you can really feel that they do everything now to win this game. And in the end, it's about the rules. So if the Premier League, if the referee allow everything, then it's difficult. Then they make their own rules. So at the moment, I have the feeling they are doing their own rules, no matter how they are playing. So that's why I think it's difficult to judge that. Overall, like I said, I will never be that kind of manager who tries to win in that way. I want to develop players. I want that my players are keep improving and keep playing football on the pitch. And in the end, of course, every team will manage and waste time. But I think there has to be a limit, and the limit has to be set by the Premier League. The limit has to be set by the referees. At the moment, they just can do what they want.
Sorry, we don't care about all that. We don't care about.
Yeah, it's fine.
Why? Who's this guy to even be talking about what we do and where we're gonna play? He's never achieved anything in his life. He plays attacking football. He can't defend.
It's fine. So
these are the type of managers that will never end up progressing into anything, because these kind of managers come out with blanket statements and they're rattled after a game because they've lost the game.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, man. This is another part of this conference was saying, let me ask you a question, and I quote, have you ever seen in a Premier League game the goalkeeper going down 3 times? In my view, the Premier League should look at those rules. So basically they are accusing us by wasting time, overusing the dark arts and all of that.
That's new,
stuff.
by the way. That's new. Wasting time is new. When Newcastle were doing it 3 times a season, and they've been doing it for like 20 years, no one's got nothing to say. When they were doing it against us 2 years ago, when we was at St James Park, and they were literally hogging the ball, and Joe Linton was falling over, no one was saying nothing. Everyone was praising Newcastle for that.
This is what Arteta responded, and I want BBK and also WaffleDon to comment on this. This was Arteta
before, not very happy with the way your team played. He said that you make your own rules. He specifically mentioned the 3 occasions David Raya went down injured. I mean, what is your reaction to what he said, and specifically David?
What a surprise.
Would you like to expand on that?
No. I mean, you just go back for the previous games and you will find a lot of comments like this always. So.
Okay.
Rattled. People are rattled.
People are rattled. And I do agree with you, because I think they're holding agendas against Arsenal, especially when we are doing it, man.
Because they don't want us to win the league.
So, Waffle, tell me, what do you think of this, man? What do you think? Do you think this is agenda driven against Arsenal because now we are winning in a way that we're not used to seeing? I mean, we're not blowing team away with 4-0, 5-0. We are, grinding games, but we're getting the win anyways. Nevertheless, we're getting the 3 points, 3-point collector, and we move on. But is it something, that you see your team currently are overusing, let's say, the dark arts, the wasting time? Because I've seen it also in the Wolves game when we try to waste a little bit of time, but unfortunately it bit us back in the ass, because they scored and they drew. So is there any concern from your side as an Arsenal fan?
Not at all. If anyone is old enough to remember watching Wimbledon back in the day, they were the masters of the dark arts. The Vinnie Jones, Robbie Ells, they will flatten you, and you know what I mean. They were the masters of the dark arts. This new age information, everything has to be spoken on, and this news and media and all that kind of stuff. It's only because it's Arsenal. Let's be real here. Yeah? It's only because it's Arsenal. If he played Pep right now and Pep was doing the same thing, he'd be shaking his hand, he'd be congratulating him, he'd be saying how much of a great manager he is, which he is anyway, but still, he wouldn't be cussing and moaning about the dark arts and stuff like that. This Herzler, actually, his face right there, I just want to give him a slap. To be honest, yeah, that face just looks like I just want to slap.
He's so rattled, man. He's chatting shit.
I just want to slap him, bro. Yeah, and the thing is, I like Herzler as well. I like him as a manager as well. But talking on my club, yeah, come on now.
It's not even that. Just don't be rattled. It's not even that. Just
yeah.
It's about don't be rattled. Have some sportsmanship. These managers like Emery, when he didn't want to shake hands with Arteta, and you got these people that are just doing this stupidness, bro. Just have some sportsmanship. You lost the game fair and square. You're talking about time wasting, and obviously, Sammy, you just put a stat up there, which is a bit of a fraudulent stat. It's a fraudulent stat. That last one, I want to debunk your last picture first. The reason why Liverpool at the bottom, because go and check how many times this season Liverpool were ahead by 1 goal. The reason why we're quite high up on that stat is because we always get the first goal more times. So naturally,
No, actually, the stat shows that Arsenal are not wasting time. That's the whole thing about the stat. I'm not. Trying to prove anything. No, man. If you look at the picture here, Arsenal are somewhere in the middle. So we're not most team who's wasting time, even with the possession of the ball. And the other one that you wanted to debunk, Arsenal are not even at the first of restarting time delays in terms of seconds as well. So there are other teams that are not spoken about. And you know what? I do agree with you when you said I don't care how we win. It's just for me, if we won against Brighton in a convincing manner, I would be more confident on my team to say, okay, we're going to win this league. But, looking at those performances, I'm a bit sitting back, and skeptical. I'm like, you know what? 1-0, I'll take it. It's 3 points. But can you guarantee to me that we're going to win every single game? That's the question that I have to ask my team and myself. And that's why I'm still sitting back. I'm not comfortably saying that we're going to win the league, even though City managed to drop points. What's your thoughts on that, BBK? Do you have anything to say about this?
About the time wasting?
Yeah. And the dark arts in general, that we are using dark arts and all that stuff, narrative. Been pushing the media.
The thing is, right, that guy, he sounds exactly like Jurgen Klopp when Atletico Madrid had dumped him out the Champions League. When he is, and he's young, his immaturity is showing. When he says, I will never be that coach. Yeah, because you're at Brighton. You can lose 6 games at Brighton and no one will care. And I use his predecessor was the perfect example of this. I remember when Graham Potter was at Brighton, they lost 6 games, no one gave a hell. He went to Chelsea, lost 3 games in a row, and he was sacked. He ruined his career. He's essentially, you know what I mean? So the thing is, with the Arsenal takes about 30 seconds to restart, they take about 28. Okay, 2 seconds, that's negligible. That's nothing for you to lose a game of football or lose your head over. He's at Brighton. You want to make news? If you're at Brighton, you want to make news, you talk about Arsenal. It's going to make news. Sky Sports normally play like clips of interviews and spots. They play that entire shit. The 5 to 10 minute rant, however long he spoke, they play the entire thing because they know that if it's Arsenal involved, it will sell. And I'm going to blame the Arsenal fans. Y'all stop clicking on this shit and stop watching this shit when they just say Arsenal for clicks. That's what it is. Like, everyone wastes his time in the Premier League. You want to stop them from wasting time? Score first.
Okay. Doc, you agree and or disagree? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, and personally, I really don't give a shit about dark arts. At the end of the day, as you know, and as everyone else knows, on the panel and in the chat, I am fucking famished for silverware. I mean, I am deliriously starving. Over 20 years since we've last won the league. I honestly don't give a shit if we end up, decapitating, rather like the legs of the opposition. I honestly don't care who we play. I don't care how we have to do it. Get us over the line. I don't care who it is that's managing the club. I don't care who's playing the squad. Like, if they're good enough, then they can be lionized. But as a fan of the sport as a whole, I personally am not fond of of seeing Stoke City football at this club, and I remember watching prime Stoke City in 2011 2012. They were absolute piss to watch, and and they ended up getting relegated back to where they belong, in the second and third division of England. If we win silverware, no one's going to be complaining about this. But if we don't win silverware, we can most certainly look back to these tactics and these directions, just because we have seen over the course of a season where we play so cautiously and on the back foot after we go up a goal. And we have dropped silly points to teams that we should not have been dropping points to. This league should have already been wrapped up by this stage, and the fact that it hasn't is what I find so disconcerting about a manager who still doesn't seem to be learning from the same mistakes that he continuously repeats. So look, I like the time wasting, the set pieces crap. I really don't care. If it wins us silverware, great. If it doesn't, then then he has that entirely to hold on himself.
Sammy.
Okay, Waffle. Yeah, tell me.
You think if he wins the Premier League this way, he'll double down, or you don't change a winning formula, right? That it's essentially you have a formula that wins, you don't change it. If he wins the Premier League with this formula, do you think he doubles down, or will he have the impetus of we're Premier League champions now when we take the pitch, now we can throw our ass around type shit?
Great question. And I'm going to respond to you with a picture here. They already doubled down. Here you go. Arsenal set piece coach contract with the club contains a bonus clause for goals from set pieces. Does that answer your question?
Is it per goal, or if we hit a certain threshold?
I don't know. I don't know the details. I don't know the details, okay? But the fact that it's there just tells you the full story, that yes, they are doubling down on this winning formula. WaffleDon, do you consider set pieces as a dark card, the way we are, the routine of Arsenal in the set piece and the way we score goals?
No, it's part of the game, and it's always been part of the game. What I feel that in the future, referees are probably going to be scrutinizing us more on set pieces, especially when it comes to defending on, the goalkeepers, watching, how we are around the goalkeepers. We don't always score set pieces. People going on like we're always scoring set pieces. Yeah,
but we have the highest, man.
We have the highest, but we score set pieces 16. In batches. We score it in batches. We went through a period where we were hardly scoring set pieces, and then we started scoring set pieces again. So I don't think it's dark arts. I just think it's just it's a creative skill that we have. Teams are good at set pieces. I remember Wimbledon back in the day; they were very good at set pieces as well.
Stock City as well.
Yeah. So
I also may ask the WaffleDon, right? Especially because you have a lot more age and wisdom, than a schmuck like myself.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean,
he's got no wisdom.
So I mean, do you find it at all, slightly, I won't say distasteful, but somewhere around that realm, considering the history of Arsenal always having a very potent attacking force, and now being more, I won't say more reliant, but I mean, but we seem to be, not playing to those strikers and those forwards advantages, because we can look as far back as even the early 90s, we've always been historically known for having excellent strikers at this squad, as well as excellent 10s for that matter.
You see, as I see it right now, is that it's a bit of both, isn't it? Arteta's strength is not in his attackers, but I also feel that the attackers aren't as good as they should be. Martinelli tells the whole story. He's only got one goal in the Premier League this season. One goal. That's embarrassing. I know he comes off of the bench and stuff like that, but in the Premier League, just one goal. Trossard, his performances have dropped. His form is just disgusting. Saka, well, we know what Saka's about. Maybe he's trying to get back into form, but when you look at our wingers, typically they don't seem like natural wingers. They don't do the natural winger things. One's trying to run from 60, 70 yards, and still hasn't got the guile, still hasn't got the technique, runs the ball out, head down. The other one is constantly, Saka on the other hand, he's got that predictability about him that, good defenders, very good defenders are always going to be on top of that. And then we've got a striker on top of that is not very good on the ball. We're not used to these type of ballers where, they can't dribble and stuff like that. So yes, he's got a very good ball strike on him. And every now and again.
You're saying they're stiff, huh?
Very, very, very. Every now and again, Gyökeres pulls something out the bag and stuff like that as well. But let's be honest, this attack isn't great. And it's not about what you done yesteryear. It's what have you done for me lately? Yeah,
Facts.
that's the question.
Social Joins disagrees with you. It says, stop blaming players. We are poorly coached team offensively. 6 year and still.
This guy disagrees with everything, man. I ain't
You know,
gonna
like, and I think, like, just to be clear as well, you know, like, like I think as far as like the ownership of blame, I think it's more along the lines of like an 85-15 or a 90-10, like Arteta owning the majority of the blame. What I will say is that, you know, like, is that there are players, you know, like a Martinelli, who you would have thought would have kicked on by now, but but as we've also like been debating earlier on, like, you know, I think it's already been well established that this manager is not getting the best out of our forward line, and whose tactics are not oriented to get the best out of a Martinelli, you know, like, or a Saka, just because, you know, like, they're always doing so much like defensive work, and they're not also like cutting in as well. So I mean, like, so again, like, to that end, I don't think we're blaming the players as much as the manager, but I think there's still like a little bit of blame to go, you know, like on both ends.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, I think. But I do think also, I think you guys heard me say it a lot, that I still believe that Arteta did not develop any attackers since he joined Arsenal. I just didn't see it. I'm sorry, you know, and a lot of people might disagree. A lot of people might say Saka. And for me, I think if Saka was with a different manager, or under, you know, a different manager like Luis Enrique's and all these stuff, I think he would have been a world-class player by now. I think he just, I don't know, it seems like he capped with Arteta, and man, it's frustrating for me to see. It's the way that we attack. It's just, oh man, I don't know, man. I'm not convinced, honestly, when it comes to the attack. Defense, midfield, I give it to Arteta. I think he built a really good structure there, solidity and rigidity in the back. I think we are very solid defensively. And I don't know if you guys agree on what Sir Alex Ferguson said before when he mentioned that attack wins you games or matches, and where defense wins you, you know, league titles, basically. I don't know if you agree with that, or you think football has changed lately and recently, and attack actually wins you games. And we've seen it with Manchester City, with Pep Guardiola, and the way he, you know, approaches the game is more offensive. They concede chances, but they always overscore their opponent. I mean, what do you guys think? Is it the way forward, or is football changing? You know, from 4-4-2 now we're playing 4-3-3, or I mean, you guys have been around the block for quite some time to see that kind of transition, if there is.
I think Arteta took that defense wins titles thing a little too literally. Right?
Okay.
WaffleDon probably know this. Way back in the day, right? There was a song. There was a guy named Michael Bolton who had made a song called "Said I Love You But I Lied." A lot of people misunderstand that song. I said I love you, but I lied. So you must hate. No, it's not. This is something more than love. This can't be love, right? Mikel Arteta just thinks you can just ride the defense. Not Fergie, man. Your defense has to be good. Doesn't mean you have to rely on it, and you can't for 38 games. It will cost you. It just will. You can't just. We are a possession-based team. We've always been. And for the first time this season, for 2 successive games, we've been outpossessed in the Premier League. It might be the first time under his tenure, or at least since he started to do this title charge thing.
And this is the fact, guys. Here's what Social Jones says.
Let me just end it on this, right? We can get away with giving Brighton 60% possession of the ball. We cannot do that at the Etihad on April 19th. We will lose.
Okay.
Just for the sheer quality that they can start and that they can bring on. Inviting pressure onto you for 90 minutes is a dangerous game to play with a Premier League title on the line. It's a dangerous game to play in particular, but when there's a Premier League title on the line, you do it against Pep, who sits at the goal table of managers. Dangerous time.
I don't know what happened to WaffleDon, just dropped, but anyways. But guys, this is a fact from Social Join. Since 22-23, our attacking numbers have gone down year on year. So that's a fact, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I mean, like, I don't think it's in dispute that Mikel's tactics and directions have been a significant dead weight and a hamper. You know, like on attackers finding like their best form and the best version of themselves. I guess like like I guess like outside looking in, what I find still a bit mysterious, and why I don't think why I still think there's still like a microscopic portion of blame that has to be found like on the player, like is why they're just simply not ignoring the manager and just playing like to rather like to the quality that they know that they have, that we have already seen them, like perform at a certain level. So I mean I know that we can say, well, like if they ignore the manager, then they'll probably like never see pitch like for a good like few months time. But I mean like it kind of goes back like to that Declan Rice situation like against Real Madrid like in the like in the Champions League, simply just ignoring like the coaches and the captain's like directions and just just taking it upon themselves. But it's just a
Okay, Sultan is saying you forget City had 11 players parking the bus at Emirates. Yeah, that's true. I mean, at least they're parking the bus against us. We parked the bus against Brentford. We parked the bus against Wolves. So that's my issue. Against Brighton as well. That's my problem. It's a fine. I'm cool with parking the bus against the likes of City, the likes of Madrid, the likes of Barca. It's fine. You're gonna have a shift in momentum in the game, and sometimes you gotta have to sit back and defend. That's okay. But to defend against Brentford or Wolves, that's not acceptable.
We shouldn't, because the formula to beat City is not to park the bus. Look at Bodo. Did Bodo park the bus against these men?
No, they disrespected them massively.
What I know about this City team is they don't like to defend. That Bernardo Silva, that rat, you make them have to run without the ball. He gets frustrated and do dumb shit. You make them men defend, and they can't be got it. Their defense is not great. We are better defense.
No, they're awful. Yeah, they're awful.
Use our defense as a license to attack them, because we have cover at the back. We have the best back four, and you put Declan in front of it and you attack him. We seen that. Forest showed that you can get something against them. They can be got at. They don't like to defend. That's why they hunt the ball in packs. If you notice, whenever Arsenal lose the football, we rush to get back in shape, to maintain our shape, play through us. When City lose the ball, they run to get the ball back because they don't want to play without it, because they don't like to defend. No one likes to run without the football. I know I don't.
And that's why maybe it doesn't look, beautiful football or sexy football, and that's why they're saying the dark art and all this stuff. But I don't care, I like the doc said, I don't give a shit how we win the games as long as we win and get the trophy. But anyways, guys, before we move on, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also subscribe to every single one of you guys. One of the panelists, I'll put them all in the description for you to show them some love, guys. I'm going to talk about the players that might leave the club, and there has been some news about these players. The first one is a player who's already out on loan currently, which is Fabio Vieira. So Fabio Vieira already at Fabio Vieira already went to Hamburg as a loanee, and they are seeking for a permanent deal. However, Arsenal are asking for 20 mil. But from what I read, they want to negotiate the price down to 12 million. So what's your thoughts about this, guys?
Euros at that.
We let him go.
Euros at that. Not even British sterling.
yeah. Euros. Yeah.
Crazy work.
We're dealing with Germans, so they use euros.
I mean, look, he was if I've already said it for time, that Pillowfoot, that our modern leader is one of the worst 10s and captains this club has ever seen, and one of the 10s that has been the saving grace for Martin Odegaard to not have that completely unsubstantiated title is man like Fabiana, because because I mean, if there is a worse 10 in that squad than Martin Odegaard, it's this schmuck on this screen right here, Fabio.
And we paid I think 35. I think we paid 35 or almost
You're
40.
Damn right.
You're
damn right.
Yeah.
You're damn right that we had paid 35 million pounds for him. I mean, absolute waste. And that was also, mind you, that was also when Porto still had Vitinha at the at the squad. I mean,
available,
that right there is probably one of the most damning reflections of the shit talent ID between Edu and Arteta, over this entire regime. We have spent so much money on dross that have not produced results. And thank God for Berta. Yeah, I know. I don't care if it's 20 million. I don't care if it's 12 million. I don't even care if it's 2 million. Get this man out of the club.
Okay, WaffleDon, BBK, you guys have anything to say about this, or you want to recoup a little bit of money?
He's not at the levels. We're gonna take a loss on this. I came to that realization like the first season. Other than the goal he scored against Brentford, what has he done? Like, he's just not a Premier League player in general, and playing for the top level. It's bad recruitment. Like, Edu, you're gonna have to hold corner on this one. This was bad. This is probably why
he's gonna be sacked soon as well from Nottingham Forest. Just to let you know. What about
does this guy is he international? Vieira?
I don't know if he played for Portugal or not.
He's made an appearance here and there, but not a mainstay.
You know, the problem I have is not the player, it's the price. Yeah, it's like this negotiation. Yeah, like teams think they can just like come and just like give us just rubbish money for players. How much is he on? Is he on big wages?
I don't think so.
I'll have to check. Hold on.
Because if he's on big wages, I would understand, but they want to give us 12 mil. I'm sure there's worse players. I'm sure there's academy players from Liverpool that's gone for more.
In euros, he's at 54k weekly.
We should be getting close to 20 million for this guy, man. I'm not saying he's the best player in the world, but Arsenal need to start negotiating properly now. You know what I mean? Just like, because if he's going for 12 million, how much is Ben White going to go for? And Ben White's a very good player. If obviously if the conversation goes there about him, we need to start being a big club, and getting some.
Or a spoiler, WaffleDon.
Sorry. We need to we need to start recouping a little bit of money. 12 million euros. That's like what, 9 million.
That's the problem. That's the problem. We've always struggled with resale, man. That's one thing I'll say about Arsenal, which we've always been crapping.
Yeah, that's true.
We can't get more trainers for money for players. Then you think you look at teams like Chelsea. They make bucks off their players, man. Even these meaty guys that you think are not good, they will end up getting 30 mil for them. And like,
average 65.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But obviously he had PR because of the UCL. But I mean, even guys that are unknown, they were still going for big bucks. We just always struggle, no matter who we buy. Gyökeres. If Gyökeres ends up being tired or crap for the next year or two, we want to sell him, he won't go for more than 30 million.
Okay, since you brought this up, Souls, I want your opinion about this now. Now, the other piece of news that we have about players that are leaving. 2 players, Ben White and Gabriel Martinelli. First of all, Souls, would you sell them? And second of all, if yes, what's the price tag would you slap for them?
I wouldn't sell Ben White. I wouldn't sell Ben White, but I don't think anyone would sell Ben White. I think
why? We're looking at Livramento. We're looking at really decent right backs.
No, because I like Ben White. I like his stability in defense. I like his adaptability to be able to play centre back and right back and left back. He's a versatile defender. What Ben White gives you can't get from Livramento. I understand Livramento has that Frimpong kind of outlook where you can attack and bomb forward, but ultimately, as what Ben White can offer us, as he can be a centre back backup, and he can be a right back backup, and he can be a left back backup. And also the reason why
he never played left back.
No, but he can play left back. He played left back for Brighton. Like not all the time, but he has played in that position. But why I think Ben White is going to leave is not because I think he's not good enough or Arteta wants to sell him. Is because Ben White wants to be a first team starter, which I think he deserves to be as well. I think he could start as a first team right back for a lot of top clubs, right? Especially who play that kind of style of football, right? So. If that's the reason Ben White wants to leave, then I think we should sell him because he's never.
Would you sell him to another Premier League club, though, Souls? So, say like a Liverpool came in for him.
Yeah, I would, depending on the price tag. If we got at least 40 million for him, I'd sell him. That's what I'd say because I still think, even though he's not a regular starter for England or for Arsenal. He's a very good right back. We can't forget what he's done for us. You know what I mean? And even and also one thing about his PR, which is so high, he's Premier League proven. Not only with Arsenal, but with Brighton as well. This guy lives and breathes the Premier League. If you want someone like a Mark Gay to come in who lives and breathes Premier League football, Ben White is that kind of profile. He'll come in, he'll slot in at right back. He knows what his job is. He's prepared to come up against all the fullbacks in the league because he knows all of them. Do you understand? He's played against them. And look, I think that I would sell him if the reasoning for selling him is that he wants regular football. If the reason for selling him is Arteta wants a replacement backup and he thinks Ben White is not good enough, I wouldn't sell him, in my opinion. I'll disagree with that statement because I think he is one of the best backup right backs in the league, right? And in terms of Martinelli, 100% sell.
Yes.
Sell him for whatever million you can get, as long as it's 50 million, as long as it's 40 million.
I have something for Martinelli. Just keep that thought. BBK, I see you shaking. I see you shaking your head. Your disagreement with Saul's about Ben White.
No, the Ben White the Benny Blanco that Souls is speaking of is the 22 to the 2024 version, which he was in the conversation for the best right back in the league. He was at the levels. The injuries, like the report says he needed surgery and kept playing for 3 months. I think that injury has really fucked him up, bro. I don't think he will ever get back to that level.
Could be, yeah.
You men all heard me say there's not a right back in the league that I'm taking over Timber. None. I'll stand on that hill. I'll die on
Reece
that
James.
No, I'm not taking Reece James over Timber. I'm not.
I'd probably take one right back. Reece James.
I'm not. You know what it is with the Reece James.
I've come to a realization that I think I was like you. I was always saying that Timber is the best right back in the league, and I just think if you remove the team they play for, if you just look at individual player for player, I do think Reece James is better, and that's maybe.
That's the thing. I do think Reece James is better, but I'm saying I'm not trading Timber for him. The same way I wouldn't trade Patrick for Roy Keane.
Fair.
This is what he does for my team and what he does for their team. Cool. There is none that I'm trading. I've never used the words better or best. There's not a right back in the Premier League I'm taking over Timber, and I'm sticking to that. Benjamin White, if he can get back to that anywhere close to that 22, 23 to the 23, 24 levels, keep him. Unfortunately, I don't think he will. So if we're gonna sell him, if we're gonna get the money we paid for him, it's gonna be to another Premier League club. Because the Italian clubs are not going to pay 50 million.
So I think it's going to be a Premier League club.
But they're talking about Livramento and all this. Look. I'm not saying
injury prone as well.
No, he's injury prone, exactly. Which obviously defeats the point. And also, I just think your backup is never meant to be as good as your starting right back. Your backup right back is never meant to be as good as your starting right back. Do you understand?
This is
I disagree with that. No, like because otherwise, like you then get complacency, and then you don't have competition in that position.
I understand that. But the problem is that people seem to think, and when they're talking about signing players, let's say for example Arsenal are in the market for a backup right back if Ben White leaves. There's gonna be Arsenal fans that are gonna want us to sign a right back as good as Timber. It's not gonna happen. Because ultimately, any right back as good as Timber is not going to be a back.
But at least somebody potentially can overtake that position, right? So you can have that level of competition between.
Yeah, I know, Sammy, but this competition argument is flawed. No, but this competition argument is flawed because players, when they sign contracts, you guys know in football in contracts, there's game time that are in clauses. There is the amount of time you to play for a club. Bro, a top right back as good as Timber is not going to come to Arsenal and say, "Oh, okay, I'm second to Timber, but I'll try and do my best to be as good as him." No, if we went for someone
so you think Timber was guaranteed a starter when he signed for Arsenal?
I think Raya and Timber when Arteta signed both of them, even though we had
Raya is obvious. But Timber
it's not obvious. But why was Raya obvious? Ramsdale had one of his best seasons for Arsenal.
Ramsdale was already one foot out the door. He was already 1 foot out the door.
No, but he wasn't though. According to who? He had a good season.
You know what? You know who we should be looking at?
Unbelievable.
You know who we should be looking at is that Coyote guy, man, from Brentford, man. He'd be a decent.
Yeah, we're linked to him. Yeah,
and it's like, for example, if we went for Ola Aina, let's say for example, let's say we went for Ola Aina. Let's just say we did. Ola Aina potentially could come in and say, okay, I will be a backup to Timber and fight for my spot, and I will take Ola Aina, but Ola Aina is not as good as Timber. I'm trying to say to you, if you want a top quality, let's say for example, and it's a dreamland, it'll never happen. Let's say we wanted Reece James, and he was available to leave. You could not sign Reece James and put him on a bench. Impossible. He wouldn't even sign a
No,
contract.
it's not gonna happen. No,
He wouldn't even sign a
very
contract
difficult.
because top quality right backs, world class right backs, they don't come to clubs to go, I'll fight for a position. So
But I never said world class player. So I said somebody potentially can, right?
Well,
So
Timber-
because you want that.
Okay,
yeah.
then he won't be as good as Timber then, because in my opinion, Timber's one of the best right backs.
You
in the
never
world.
know. Players can develop and get better. I mean,
the problem it's how many minutes Timber can play in it. Do you know what I mean? As well, because Timber gets injured in it at times as well. So you know, and he gets overplayed as well. So I think we need a young apprentice to Timber, man, coming in.
I agree. I agree. Because I think, look, if we are going to sell Ben White, that's what I will say. If we are going to sell Ben White, there needs to be an adequate replacement. Someone that is going to work hard. Someone's going to fit the Arteta profile. Someone's going to be okay with being dropped. You know, Arteta, he'll drop people. Long throw ones, whatever it is. But ultimately, Martinelli, I want to get to Martinelli. Sell Martinelli today.
Hold that soul.
Sell him.
This is the piece of news that came out.
No, take that
bombshell.
No.
There is some news that's saying that Arsenal are pursuing Gordon, and Newcastle are pushing for a swap deal between Martinelli and Gordon. I'm not a fan.
But Don, you know, I would say, look, it's a tricky one, yeah. And the reason why it's tricky is because I as a person, I love Martinelli.
He has 15 GA, by the way, so far.
Who?
Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon's a good winger. And look at his Champions League form, he's been good, but so is Martinelli in the UCL. But what I'm saying is this, yeah. Martinelli, I love him. Yeah, because I want to explain myself as to why I'm saying sell him. I love Martinelli as a person. He was cheap. We bought him. He worked hard for us. Never complained about anything. Just did his job. Always smiling. Always did what he can do. But ultimately, guys, yeah, we have to be honest here. In the summer, we had to sell Martinelli or Trossard. I was willing to sell both of them if we signed a Rodrigo and a backup. So both of them, in my opinion,
just had an ACL, bro.
But yeah, I know. I'm saying in the summer, both of them, I don't rate that highly. Okay, I think they're good wingers. They can do a job. I think Trossard's one of the best finishers in the league as just finishing ability.
Not anymore.
But no. Still, if you gave him 5 1-on-1s, he's more likely to put them 5 in back of the net more than most other wingers, more of our strikers in the league. He's a world-class finisher. But everything else about his game, dribbling, IQ, awareness, positioning, fatigue, he lacks in so many areas. Martinelli's issue is this. Martinelli's very good. He's quick. He's a decent finisher, but he lacks in a lot. He misses a lot of big chances. But I just think he hasn't got enough intelligence or footballing IQ. He's too one-dimensional. He's too one-dimensional.
No maturity in the ball.
Yeah. He's too one-dimensional. He looks down a lot. He's too and I think he passes when he should shoot and he shoots when he should pass. He slows the game down. Decision making is poor. So I think when you're looking at what you want, we need to get rid of him. But the issue with them becomes, who do we sign? Because Barcola, I think, suffers from a lot of the same issues. Very poor decision making. One of the worst.
Don't get over your head. I have those in the pipeline now. I'm going to show you.
But I would sell him. But just to summarize, I would sell him for at least 40 million because I do feel like even though the left winger market is poor, he's one of the better left wingers that you can get in the league, right? Because there isn't a lot of good left wingers. Even Gakpo has been garbage this season, and I used to rate Gakpo highly. Would I take Gakpo for Martinelli? No, because I don't rate Gakpo either. Who would I really take? Doku's got end product issues.
I'll tell you who I'll personally take in a minute. But I want Doc to tell me. Doc, would you take this deal?
Politely, fuck no. I mean, I
feel like you guys are really not understanding how good Gordon is. I don't think he's a bad winger. I think he's a very good winger.
Nobody rates him highly.
No. He doesn't excite me. He's not saying he's not good. It's just excite me. It's not an exciting type of strike winger. I'm more looking at Yildiz, that type of
baller.
Yeah, that's I'm not looking at Gordon. Boring. Do you know? I'm looking at him, man. Look at him. He looks good.
If there's one problem that I have, it's it's this concept that we're still buying they're still buying like Arteta type players. All right, like we have already seen what we get with Arteta type players, and that's not over the finish line. It's the reason why Don Berta is here. Like simply because Eze and Gyökeres and Hincapié, for example, are not Arteta like players. Like we need the only reason why we're getting linked with someone like Anthony Gordon is because he has good defensive work rate. But at the end of the day, I don't need my wingers to have such good defensive work rate. I need my wingers to be creating chances in the final third and to be scoring goals. Like I'm honestly sick and tired of this whole framing of how we have to pursue transfers based off of a manager whose talent ID has already proven to be so hit and miss that it's more often miss than hit. So we can do so much better than Anthony Gordon. No one has mentioned Morgan Rogers yet. That was that would also be someone that I would want. Yildiz is also like another option. I never wanted Rodrigo just because he and Vinicius Jr. have become so petulant and so they have been given carte blanche, but I just find them just to be like whiny little spoiled brats, and I don't need behaviors like that at this club either. I need ballers. I miss the winger types of of the old like Bobby Pires days. Even our Shavan on the wing, was a far sight better, So I definitely think that Martinelli needs to be sold. But I would be looking for a lot more from him. I'd be looking for about maybe like 50 to 60 million, just especially like in this market. And Ben White as well. He's actually probably been one of the players that has improved since he had arrived from Brighton. I think that we should at least be getting 55, 60 million for him.
Okay, fairs. BBK, you want to add anything here? Or
this is a hard no for me. Gordon, the thing is, I've always said, like Doc just touched on it on all my streams. Bobby Pires is level on our left side. Gordon is nowhere near that. That's the last time we're winning Premier League title. That's the level. Alexis Sanchez, yeah, that's the level.
Sanchez, right?
I would go to PSG and get Bradley Barcola or Desiree Doué. They're playing second fiddle to Kvaratskhelia right now. They could be the starting left winger at Arsenal Football Club.
Do you want to know who I would personally sign?
Who's that?
Michael Olise. No.
You love this guy, don't you?
Yeah, I think.
But I'm very wary of the Serie A tax.
I am. This is a striker or type of profile that I believe that Arsenal are missing. Somebody who can, make something out of nothing. And I know that lately, me and Gianni have had the conversation back and forth about him, and he doesn't rate him currently because of his, performances and all that, and he's not consistent, But I personally think if we can get the best out of this player, I think he's going to be a massive addition for our team. He's an elite baller. He dragged his team AC Milan to a league title, and he's still young. He's 25, 26 years old, so he's still going to hit his prime if not. And I think, that's the guy I would personally sign. I don't know what you guys thought about him.
Devil's advocate, and also pretty much overlapping what Social Joints has said, considering Mikel's track record with, rather getting the best out of strikers and wingers, are any really going to be able to fulfill, that, I guess, that true potential, of becoming the best player, the best version of themselves.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Sauls, BBK? You guys rate the player, or you think there are better options in the market than Leao as a left winger? Take in consideration that Rodrigo had an ACL, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. But I'm saying Barcola or Doué are better options for me. This guy, fantastic on the day, but so many times I've watched him, and there are games when he just doesn't look interested at all. When he's just out there, bro. If he's not having a good game, it shows. And his profile, he's big, he has all the tech, but sometimes I question if his mental makeup is really there. And this guy is the starting left winger at Milan. Yep. Barcola and Doué, they're not. They're rotational pieces. Like everyone fit Kvaratskhelia starts on the left wing. So you can. That's the pull.
I think he starts in the right. Doué, no, he starts as a right winger. Doué starts as a right winger.
He's like Rodrigo. He's forced over there because Vinny and Mbappe drifts left. You know, but Barcola is predominantly a left winger.
But they rotate. I mean, I see them rotate a lot. Kvaratskhelia goes to the right sometimes. Doué goes to the left. Dembele sometimes drops.
You come to Arsenal, you be the starting left winger. You got Saka on one side, you on the other side. You know, you could be the best you could be the best winger at Arsenal if you came here.
I think it's going to be very costly. And I don't think
Leao would be.
PSG. Yeah, well, as you can see, 75 million euros, which is I don't know how many.
I think you can get Barcola for 75 million.
I mean, like
I think even cheaper than that.
And that also goes without saying that we completely, you know, like squandered the opportunity to not bring Kvaratskhelia, you know, like to Arsenal.
Yep, we missed that.
Yeah, we missed that. Yeah, we missed that chance. But what I'm saying is, Doué. First of all, PSG will be reluctant to release him. That's number one. Two is if they do, you're going to pay minimum of £100 million minimum for Desiree Doué, and there's the chance that he might not, you know, transition to the Premier League. Also, Leao has that issue that we don't know how he's going to perform in the Premier League. He could not really transition very well, but it's a lesser risk in terms of financials with Leao. And I don't know. I just have a feeling about this player, man. Maybe I'm wrong, but like BBK said, I do like the player, and I hope he joins Arsenal.
It's an upgrade on what we got.
Massively. It's a massive upgrade. A massive upgrade. There's no even comparison between the two, and that's the thing. Another player that we've been linked to before, but it's been said that he's not for sale is Esposito, if I'm saying it correctly. Gianni corrected me. I used to say Esposito, so Esposito is not available. Inter Milan are not willing to sell, and also Arsenal are not looking for a profile which is similar to Gyökeres. They are looking for a complementary player in the attack that can complement Gyökeres or the conventional number 9 that we have. I just wanted to let you know that because we talked about this player, but the last player that I want to talk about, and he's been you know, he could be a big signing for Arsenal, and this is the latest one that we have, is Elliot Anderson, right? Elliot Anderson is currently now linked with Arsenal. Yeah, and also there's another thing that Zubamendi could be considering leaving Arsenal in the summer. I don't know for what reason, but it seems that he did not settle in quite comfortably in London. Maybe personal things with his family. No idea on the reasons why behind it, but there are some talks that Zubamendi might be seeking, you know, a move back to La Liga in the summer. And if he does, I think this player would be, you know, the best option for us to replace Zubamendi, or keep Zubamendi and Rice and also sign this player. What do you guys think? Doc, BBK?
Make this happen tomorrow. Really. I mean, I would say that. Like,
is he better than Adam Morton?
So I think they're two slightly different players. But I think both players would be massive upgrades, like on what we have currently in midfield. Personally, I mean, like, I would not be upset with either Anderson, Wharton, Tonali for that matter. But Anderson has really grown over the last few years, and his work rate is exceptional. You know, like, so I mean, honestly, like, you really can't go wrong with either of the three. But what I know for sure is that they're a sight far better than Zubamendi and Marino in midfield.
Okay, BBK, what's your thoughts about the player? You like him? You rate him?
Yeah, I do rate him. I rate him in that forward system. Sometimes you have guys who go from counter-attacking 3 at the back, 4 in the midfield. They come to a different system. They struggle. If it comes down to the question you asked between him and Wharton, I would actually go with Wharton, you know, because Wharton actually has a lot of assists from midfield, and he's played with Eze before. And if Eze is going to be our main 10, I would prefer that partnership. But either one of these guys, Tonali, I even rate Bruno Guimaraes as a top midfielder in the Premier League. But yeah, I don't know how much stock I put into that Zubamendi story. I mean, he's going to come here, play 1 year, win the Premier League, and leave. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this just came out in the last 48 hours. That's all I'm saying.
The thing with Zubamendi, I'm keeping the same energy I kept for Calafiori. Like, you're coming from a different league, I'll give you 1 year to adjust. This is Zubamendi's first year playing the hardest position in a title-winning team. So he was always going to struggle. You know, Thomas Partey, in his first year, it wasn't great. Like, it even took him a while. And Thomas Partey at Atletico, he was the reason they were comfortable selling Rodri to City. He was that good of a midfielder. It took him, some time to adjust to the Premier League, and he is more physically
by the way, that's true. We might be
that.
facing competition for Elliot Anderson. I think also City are looking into buying him as well.
And if they want him, he's going there because they're going to pay him $300K.
Yeah,
and he only scored.
No one else was getting Gahey if City offered him $300K. Like no London club is going to pay him a center back $300K. So if they want him, he's going there.
Don't you think a Rice scenario could happen where he chooses Arsenal?
No.
Why?
Because we were after Rice
like
for time, and Rice wasn't going to go to City and be a backup to Rodri. Rodri is over the hill now. Rodri's coming back from an ACL. He's 31, so there's opportunity there. Rodri was in his prime. Declan was like, nah. I've seen what you man do to Calvin Phillips and Nunes playing right back when he was a midfielder at Wolves. It was a better fit. But
the same could be said about Anderson. He's going to be a squad player until he proven otherwise. No,
I don't think so. I mean, like I think. Well, I would imagine that Kovacic as well as Bernardo Silva are going to be on their way out this summer, and he would be fitting right into the starting 11 next season.
Yeah, I agree.
But these stats here, what WaffleDon says, he only scored one goal this season, which was the goal against the equalizer against City. But overall,
the DM.
I don't know, man.
I don't expect any good. A DM goes through the I don't get the GA thing where we're talking about defensive players. Anything you get from your defensive players is a bonus.
Okay. Well, that's all when it comes to the rumors, links, news about Arsenal, where we drilled it down this season. And, the last thing that before we wrap up, guys, I just want to hear your thoughts about the season and, the expectation of the season. Do you guys think we're going to win the league now, especially that City dropped? We talked about the dark horse. We talked about the approaches of Arsenal, the pragmatic approach that we do sometimes. How confident are you with winning the league? If you guys believe that we're going to win the league, I want to hear your thoughts and the expectation of trophy. What kind of trophies are we going to win? I know the doc is going to say none, probably, not sure, but I want to hear from him. Maybe he changed his mind after City dropping points.
No, I mean, unfortunately, I'm a firm believer of seeing is believing, so I'm still remaining consistent until I see us lift trophies. I mean, I know it's boring. I know.
No, that's fine. You're entitled to have that opinion, Doc. I mean, PTSD, 22 years. It's totally understandable.
As you know, I'm famished to see silverware. And I'm so desperate to be proven wrong. Because when I am proven wrong, it means that we are seeing success at this club. And it's the only thing I want. I wouldn't have created this moniker, satirizing my club otherwise if I didn't believe in it. So I mean, I just. Seeing is believing. It's still yet to be determined whether or not this manager has the stones and the gumption to be able to get over the line.
Move a little bit.
What matters the most.
Bit. No, nothing. No. Okay. Wow.
Sorry to disappoint.
There you go, guys. That's fine. Yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to change your opinion. I just want to see if the latest results kind of shifted your belief a little bit, but it seems you're rock solid on what you believe right now.
As I said at the onset of the stream, this past Wednesday was an excellent day for Arsenal. We not only collected all 3 points, but City had also dropped points.
Yeah,
that is a pivotal shift. But as I also said, now is not the time to get complacent. Now is the time for Arteta, for this squad, and for this club to put the sword to City, to not let them back into the title race. Because at least mathematically speaking, statistically speaking, they are still in it, and and they will be in it until they are no longer in it. So we have to do the business. I mean, it is in our hands, and if we don't win the league, there's going to have to be some serious questions and conversations.
All right, BBK. I mean, despite the fact that mathematically, as the doctor said, because mathematically even United could win, Aston Villa could win, even Chelsea could win. I mean, mathematically, if you want to go very technical about it. But what's your thoughts, BBK? Do you feel there's a shift towards Arsenal now? The momentum is ours. The wind shifted direction. What's your feeling right now?
The only reason why we're embroiled in a title race is because we let Man City back in it.
True.
We had
We're talking about here and now.
At least 4 or 5 opportunities to pull away from these men, and we let them back in it. And football comes at you quickly, Sammy. And let me draw your attention to 8 games remaining. 8 games. This is how quickly football can go. Our Liverpool
Banana
fans
skins
testify to this. 8 games remaining, right? For 5 games this season, the first 5, Liverpool were 5 for 5, flying high, telling everyone to kiss their ass. We were telling them it's not sustainable. They said, "Hey, we're top. Shut up. Hey, we're top. You're jealous, sour grapes." 3 games later, for a total of 8 games remaining. For 3 games later, they were looking up at us, and they haven't seen us since. 8 games remaining. That's how quickly it can come to that. Now, if you're asking me, do I trust Arteta with a 4-point lead with 24 points to play for? Answer is still no. But I do think we beat them in the Carabao.
Look,
I do think we win the Carabao.
5 of our games are home games, and 3 of them are away, which is City, Crystal Palace.
Our home game against Man United saw Man City come within 2 points of us.
And and if we also recall correct, just
but we do have a good record. We do have a good record at home.
Well, right, but again, we also recall a few years back when we had dropped points to Brighton and Southampton at home. Did we not? Right. So
we did.
I mean, so again, on paper, right? On paper, imperatively, we should be able to, to get past those teams at home and collect all 3 points. But we also know that games are not played on paper. There is no margin of room for error, and we should not be presuming, based off of where they are currently in the table, that we can just breeze right past them, especially because we haven't, shown such attacking consistency over this season as well.
Sammy, you think Newcastle can beat anyone on their day, home or away?
Yeah, they have a very good chance. Yeah.
Well, we have Newcastle at home right after City. So.
Yeah, I think that game against City, if we do even nick a point in Etihad, I think title is done. That's my opinion. If they drop points against us, I think that's done.
Yeah, we're winning the Carabao though. I got chess for that. I got all the chess for that.
Really?
Yeah. Doing them. You're gonna do them at the.
There we go. See, Doc, learn something, man. At least he's saying the Carabao Cup.
Beginning of the season, I said we win both cups, so I can't back down now. We're in the damn final, and give me Norwich next round in the FA Cup. Yeah, give me Norwich or Port Vale, and put us in the semi.
BBK, do you think the Carabao can still be a catalyst either way for City or Arsenal, depending on who wins it?
No. Because I think we can win the Carabao and still go lose the league.
Inversely, do you think if City wins it, do you think that will push them on to win the league?
Depends on how close they are to us.
I disagree with BBK because the teams that are playing the final are Arsenal and Manchester City. If it was any other team, like let's say Chelsea in the final or Man United, then it does not matter for City if they win it or lose it. But because City are the contenders and Arsenal are, competing in the league, that will impact, the mental prospect of how they look at themselves and say, okay, we can do it or not. Especially for Arsenal, because, we haven't won with Arteta and with this squad, and they are a bit fragile when it comes to mentality. And we need to have that kind of winning mentality. And I think that win, in winning a trophy, a silverware, like the doc likes to say, will infuse a big boost of confidence in the team and even the fan base.
Yeah, I don't dismiss that thought. I just want to get away from the idea that if Arsenal lose the Carabao Cup, the guys are going to hang their heads. And now, if anything, that, okay, if you lost that, the Premier League is the only thing you're in control of. Get your shit together and go win that. But I can also see this team win the Carabao and get complacent and lose the league.
Yeah, it could go both ways. I do hear that. I hear that.
So I'm very good at compartmentalizing things because I've found joy in places where, I've been some places.
They need to have a stream with you.
is what
They
we
need to
said.
have a
We
stream
want the
with
good
you in
stuff.
this session. You need to show them some, how to compare.
You hunt the good stuff, man. And the good stuff is we're in a final. And I've always said if this club was consistently getting to finals, the energy around the fan base will be different. Because on the law of averages, you're going to win some of them. So
yeah. I think both teams are going to lose points. I just think, it depends on how many points to drop. Because I don't think City are going to win every single game, and I don't think Arsenal are going to win every single game.
Yeah,
but,
if it gets to a 3-game swing, then we're having a different conversation. But right now, it's only 2.
So you're considering City. Let's say they win the game in hand, and also they win against us. Let's just assume. So that's a point between us, right? Because it's 7 points right now. It's not 2 points. Yeah, I see it. If they do lose more points, I think it's over.
Yeah,
I would say again,
even if it gets to a 6-point and we have superior goal difference, that's technically a 3-game swing. If it gets to that, different conversation. But until then, and that can happen as soon as they play Chelsea.
We'll see, man. I still got clips saying that we're gonna win the domestic treble, so I'm gonna see how that goes. A bit of optimism there, but yeah, man. We have to believe, you have to believe. But anyways, guys, I think Solzan and WaffleDon are not here currently, but thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Every single one of the panelists are in the description. Please do go and subscribe to them as well. Stay safe wherever you are. I mean, this is the end of the show. Make sure you guys are safe, and cheerio.